best in radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.
You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. This is Kerry Lutz, and it's time for another Triple Lutz report. We've officially moved. If the sound here is a little bit better, if you're noticing it, it's because this room, the studio, is now fully carpeted. And by the way, if you want to support the show, we really would appreciate it. This is the first stage in us expanding, going to video. Got great new digs here. We're going to go to video, and you can do it by going to clubfsn.com. That's clubfsn.com, and any contributions are reported at $1, $2, $5, $10 a month. You get premiums. Just go to the site. You'll see what they are, and you'll get my book. Forget Wall Street. Go for the gold and silver too. It sounds a little silly right now, but look, the world is so uncertain. It's so crazy out there. You know it's going nuts, regardless what the Dow propaganda average is, regardless what the stock markets are doing. You know that what the situation is. You know how tenuous everything is out there. So think about it. And by the way, the show's brought to you by Borderless Holdings, originator of the most modern form of wearable wealth that you can find today. I've gotten one. It's really beautiful. It's a bracelet. It contains 10th of an ounce, 24 karat gold, solid 24 karat gold beads. They're detachable. They're held together by a sterling silver wire that's easily detachable from the wire. And it's really cool. It's insurable, and you can pass effortlessly from border to border without paying any tariffs, any duties, any fees. And, this is the way to go. It's simply a way to diversify your bullion holdings. It's not in lieu of, and they're available from 1 to 10 ounces, either necklaces or bracelets. It's really the biggest innovation in ways to diversify your wealth into precious metals. Highly recommended. You can call them now at 855-604-6343, 855-604-6343. People tell me, you talk so quickly. You're a New Yorker. I know, can't help it. But talk to Seth or one of his assistants at borderlessholdings.com. You can go to the web. But for this type of thing, I highly recommend that you actually call them, because that way you'll know exactly what you're getting. And anytime that you actually go to a new supplier of bullion, always call them on the phone first. Don't go to the web. And by the way, when you've got volatile precious metals markets like we do today, split up your precious metals purchases. Don't buy it all at once, because, the price of gold, the price of silver could go down dramatically day to day. Who knows what's going to happen here? I think we've put in our bottoms, but you never know. I mean, today, it's Friday, August 8th. I'm looking at kitco.com. Gold is right around that 1312 mark. It was under 1300 for, 3 days, bounced right back. Silver just under that $20 per ounce mark. Nenner seems to think that a tradable low is coming later in the month. I don't know. But I do know that cycles have power over us all. We all need to be aware of the power of cycles, which is why you need to split up your purchases. It's very, very important. I mean, look, oil is trading under $100 a barrel. You look at the turmoil going on in the world right now, you say, why isn't it $150 a barrel? Obviously, there's some forces exerting themselves in the oil market right now that defy common sense, that defy conventional wisdom. The same thing with the dollar. The dollar has been going up. It's at 81.51 on the US dollar index. Why is that happening? Crude oil, 97.40. You've seen a decrease in the height of driving season at the pump. Why is that taking place? I wish I knew. Wish I could tell you. Euro's up a little bit, 134.22. So these are the things you need to be thinking about. But if you're going to purchase bullion, guys at Borderless, honest, reliable, really helpful, whether you buy from them or not. There's a list of people that I trust. You can send me an email anything having to do with the show or anything else for that matter. You think there's guests that you like, hat tip to Terry. He's been terrific sending me suggestions for prospective guests, and we're working our hardest to get those people on the show. I love hearing from you out there. Anything you have to say, whether you agree or disagree, just if you're going to argue with me, argue facts, don't argue feelings. I got 3 kids. I've been arguing feelings for 25 years. Actually, my oldest is 28. I'm tired of arguing feelings. I want to argue facts, and I don't know everything. I can be wrong, but don't tell me that fracking is going to make gas come out of your water faucet, because nothing could be further from the truth. And, well, looking at today's stories, you already know that the U.S. is bombing Iraq again, for better or for worse. You got to wonder, but these ISIS characters, man, geez, these people are a throwback to the Crusades, the Dark Ages. I'd rather look at stories like about this guy who used a blowtorch to kill a spider in his house. It's not a good idea. This guy was from Seattle. Fortunately, he's not one of my neighbors, and he caused $60,000 in damage to his home using a homemade blowtorch to try to kill a spider. Maybe he's a candidate for a Darwin Award. You can find this story at dailymail.co.uk. This was a couple of weeks ago. Wanted to get the story out to you sooner, but like I say, the move, everything else. That's the thing about insurance, though. When you got homeowners, as long as it wasn't deliberate and you didn't deliberately try to burn the place down, insurance companies got to pay off. They might not write you another policy, but they're going to pay this one off. So, man, will wonders ever cease? So here's another story that it was in the Wall Street Journal a while back, and that the new law dealing with nutritious food being served by elementary schools up to high schools. It's called the 2010 Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, and it was championed by Michelle Obama, and it's part of her Let's Move campaign. The law overhauled nutrition standards affecting more than 30 million children, and among the changes, fatty French fries were out and baked sweet potato fries are in. And the law also required the U.S. Department of Agriculture to set standards for all foods and beverages sold during the school day, which includes vending machines, snack carts, and daytime fundraisers. And it allowed for infrequent fundraisers, and states were allowed to decide how many bake sales they would have that didn't meet nutrition standards. And without state-approved exemptions, any treats sold would have to meet calorie, sodium, fat, and other requirements, and the law permits states to fine schools that don't comply. So forget about buttery, salty popcorn. Kernels sold on site during the day must contain no more than 230 milligrams of sodium per serving until 2016, when it drops even lower. Sounds like kind of the cola standards for your car. How much mileage you're going to get, and 6 chocolate sandwich cookies at 286 calories would be out, but a 4-ounce fruit cup with 100% juice at 68 calories would be okay. Also out is a large donut at 242 calories and a 1.6 ounce chocolate bar with 235 calories. And homemade fare is more challenging to measure, say the schools. And, this is a mainstay of public schools, is having the bake sale to finance trips, to finance purchase of extra school books and all sorts of worthy pursuits. And what are they going to do? Are they going to have a celery sale or a carrot sale? This is insane. And when we talked with Kyle Olson of EAG News, he said that a lot of schools are opting out of the program. Some of the schools take these leftover meals that kids refuse to eat now and feed them to pigs. What is going on here? It's just crazy. Resourceful students at Chapman School in Nebraska hawk pizza and cookie dough to raise money for school supplies, field trips, and a 8th grade excursion to Washington. And they peddle chocolate bars to help fund the yearbook. And, I don't think that childhood obesity is really going to be affected that much. But here we are. This is life in the new economy. And hey, there's a great article back on Al Corlin's economics report about Sheriff Joe Arpaio. The Maricopa County Animal Shelter is spending $18 million a year on stray animals. Sheriff Joe offered to take the department over, and the county supervisors said, okay, prisoners are now in charge of the department. It's now costing $3 million per year, and the shelter is running much better. Prisoners love doing it. They get paid 28 cents an hour for working, but most of them would do it for free just to be out of their cells. And most of that budget goes for utilities, building maintenance, stuff like that. And he pays the prisoners out of the fees collected for adopted animals. And they're doing a great job. And you could argue whether you want prisoners to be doing this or not, whether it's a good use of it. I'm not sure. But he is saving the taxpayers $15 million. I don't know where that $15 million was going to before the prisoners took this over, but you got to wonder. And then, hey, we talked about this before about tobacco bonds that were sold. I'm going to do a special on this later on, but suffice it to say that if you want to screw over Wall Street, stop smoking, because what they did was all these tobacco suit settlements. Well, Wall Street said, well, sell bonds. You can get all the money at once. Well, they had these little clauses in there that are going to cost states $64 billion. It's insane. Leave it to Wall Street to take what was probably something that should have never happened in the first place, but they exploited it, and effectively they gave the states a multi-billion-dollar payday loan. But now that people are cutting back smoking at the rate of 3.5% a year, or at least they're buying 3.5% less cigarettes, this has put the payment of these bonds in jeopardy. They have to be restructured, so Wall Street's cashing in yet again. So that's it for now. If you're buying bullion, go over to borderlessholdings.com. Can't recommend that wearable wealth enough. It's such a great concept. You won't be sorry. Anyways, follow us on Twitter at Kerry Lutz. Check out our Facebook group, Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network. We've got a couple thousand people on there, just about, and a lot of good stuff on there. People are really into it, getting a lot of feedback, a lot of positive feedback. And hey, don't forget the YouTube channel. And email me if you got anything you want to say, khl@kerrylutz.com. And that's it for now. This has been another Triple Lutz Report. Kerry Lutz, signing off.
FSN Radio. It's all about what's next. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and sign up for your free weekly newsletter. You'll also get 3 free reports. The Financial Survival Network. It's all about what's next.